All right, let's start with the stuff that's on the screen. This week we're going to be making Flappy Bird, but I'm not an artist. So we're going to be making Flappy Circle, and we're going to do this just a chunk at a time. Today, the first chunk, and let me walk you through this. I mean, calm down, guys. It's gonna be okay. All right. We we start with the basic assumption that we want to draw a circle onto the screen, right? So we can actually do a quick Google search, JavaScript circle object, or JavaScript circle also works. Check this out, W3 schools. That's where we want to be. So we're going to go to the W3 schools. It's the HTML canvas arc method, okay? And this is a beautiful little circle. This code right here makes that beautiful little circle. It's great code. We don't know what it means yet, but if we scroll down just a little bit, it gives us the definition and the usage. The arc method creates a arc or a curve, right? You can use this to make full circles or just portions of circles. You can create a circle with the arc. You set your start angle to 0 and your end angle to 2 times math.pi. Now this 2 times math.pi is actually really interesting because it's not like degrees of the circle. And in fact, you can use the stroke or the fill method to actually draw the circle on the canvas, right? So right here in this little demonstration, this green dot is the center. And these two portions of the arc parameters, right, this 175, that's where the center of your circle is going to be. That's 100 to the right, to the right, and then 75 to the down. That's your x and your y values. Then this next section right here, this 50, and this 50 that's not highlighted anywhere is actually the distance from the center to the edge of your circle. So that's the radius of your circle. And your whole circle is going to be twice the radius wide. Okay, so if you've got a gap later on, we're building the pipes and our pipes have a gap of, let's say, 50, then we can't have a radius of 50 because our circle is actually going to be 100 big. Okay, so your radius is going to be half the size of the total width of your circle. That's just how radiuses work. And then, of course, we're going to have the starting position, which is right here at 0. Okay, and then it goes around clockwise from 0, and it goes around, it's measured in pies or radians, which are like degrees, but they're not. That's all I got. So if you wanted to go like a quarter of the way down, that would be a half a pi. If you wanted to go a half circle, just a bottom half circle, you could be a full pi. If you wanted to get all the way around to the beginning again, that'd be a 2 pi, and then of course 3/4 of the way around would be a 1.5 pi. Now you could start anywhere you wanted, right? So you could actually start, instead of at 0, you could start it at 1 pi and you start here, and then if you want to go another 1 pi, you'd end up here. Okay, it works better with tau, but I'm not going to get into mathematical constants with y'all today. The other thing is, if we look at this right here with this code, it's got stroke, and if we go to a try it ourselves and we change that stroke to fill, we can run this and we get it filled in. Okay, so if we want to change that path color or the fill color, we can do that a little bit later. Right now we're going to stick with black, and that's gonna be okay. Okay, so that's about all we need to know about circles. Let's go try it out. And here we can actually see that we don't want just a circle. We want to have a bird, right? And so what I've done here, I've made a variable called bird, or drawBird actually, and I've made that a function. So actually that's the name of a function, drawBird. I'm not sure that that's the best way to do this, but it'll work for now at least. So we've got a drawBird function. And that function is doing these 3 lines of code, which are these 3 lines of code. And now you're thinking, well, what about these other 2 lines of code? Why aren't we doing it there? Right? Well, we actually see we have those 2 lines of code right here. And this is getting the canvas and getting the context for the canvas. And we've made a canvas up here in our HTML with this 1 line of code, canvas. We've given it an ID called Flappy Bird. and then we're getting that canvas by its ID called Flappy Bird. Now sometimes we do our best, and we just, we're trying. It's, you're typing it all in, and if we mess up, if we go document, right, and now I've just misplaced the U and the E, and let's go ahead and run this, and we don't have anything there, right? And that's really sad. So let's misspell this again. Perfect. Okay, so now we've got 2 spelling errors. Nothing's happening. We can run this. Nothing's happening. What do we do at this point, right? Well, if we typed everything in and we're like, things should be showing up, because things should be showing up, we go over here, we right click. On a Mac, it's a 2-finger click or a control click, and we do the inspect. Please use the Google Chrome if you can have the Google Chrome. If you can't have Google Chrome, I'm not sure how to do this on an iPad, but you want to go into the console on Google Chrome, and right here it says that this error, this red one, gives us an error. It says document is not defined. And okay, well, that means document is not defined. That means we come over here and we search for document, and that's on line 1 for us. Now if we had a lot of lines of code, right, like 100 lines of code or something, scrolling through up and down might not be the easiest thing to do. So we can actually copy this. I'm going to hit the Control and the C button. So that's copied, and now I can do the Control F, and that opens up this little search bar, and we're going to search for that one word on the screen. So if we hit the down button or the up button, it actually highlights it for us right there. And hopefully we'll know now, okay, well, document, there must be something weird about document, right? And we already know it's probably a spelling error. And so we can fix that. Document, oh, I got the E and the M's mixed up. So we fixed that spelling error. Let's run it again. Still nothing happens. This happens. Sometimes we get multiple things happening. We still have a little red X, so we're going to come back into our console. And you know what? We fixed that error, and now we have a different error. This one says that document.getElementById is not a function. Well, and that's because right here, we've actually got a misspelling, right? So again, we could use that trick to find the spot, the Control F, the copy paste. But we know that we just have a spelling error here. So we've got get element, L-E-N-T. There we go. Let's see if that runs, and okay, much better. So now if we do the inspect, we don't have any errors. That's always nice. So we can close that. And of course, our circle is showing up. So now this circle is a little bit big, just a little bit big. And also, I mean, I'm thinking about the future, right? And that bird's going to go up and down and stuff. So I want to really build this variable draw bird. Well, yeah. Again, there's probably better ways to do this, but right now we're going to add a couple of more variables. So we're going to get a variable, maybe a bird X. All right, and we're going to set that just for now equal to 100, and we're going to have a variable bird Y. And we're going to set that one equal to 75. That's great. And then, of course, we want to have a variable for the width of our bird, right? Bird radius. And then we're going to set that one. Actually, 50 is really big for me. So I'm going to go maybe 10. I'm going to go a radius of 10. And I think that'll do. So now if I come in here to draw bird, I actually don't want to use these numbers anymore. I want to use those variables that I just made. So bird X, this is going to be bird Y, and this is going to be bird radius. All right, let's go ahead and run that. Ow! You know what? That is a much smaller bird, and it looks beautiful. This is great. I'm super pumped about this. So by using these variables that we've just used, bird X, right? When we want to change that, like check this out. So we're drawing the bird right here, right? On line 15, we're doing the draw bird. If I then change my bird X, right? Bird X equals, let's go something drastic, 200. And let's change my bird Y. Bird Y equals, I don't know, let's go another 200, right? So it'll be probably around here somewhere is what I'm guessing. Let's do another draw bird. Yeah, and let's run this. And now we see we have two. Yeah, I was pretty close. We got a bird here, and then we're changing these variables, and now our next bird is over here. And now you might be thinking, um, why are there two birds? And that's because we haven't made a background that covers it up, right? So we're adding a bird here, we're changing some variables, we're adding another bird here. We don't have any code saying get rid of that first bird. So this is good news. Honestly, this is fantastic news. This is great news. Now if I have like a function later on that says draw bird, then it'll draw the bird wherever the bird currently is. So that is what we want, and we like that. And even by putting in the radius here, this allows us to come back later and sort of change the code, edit the code. If we want a larger bird, we can make a larger bird. Look, let's make a larger bird, right? Run this, boom, they're bigger. If we want a smaller bird, we can make a smaller bird. This is the power of variables. Look, oh wow, tiny little birdies, right? And so we're going to use variables. I like that, Tim. We're going to use variables as much as we can. So we've got a little bird there. Happy with the bird. Now that bird's not going up or down or anything at the moment, right? Which is fine. Like it doesn't have to move. The whole point of Flappy Bird is to move, though. So let's think about this. What we want is the bird to just sort of like fall down, as though there were some sort of like gravity, right? And that would be nice if the gravity could change to the sort of like X position of the bird, and then like we could just keep redrawing the bird function. That would be really cool, and so let's think how we might be able to do that, right? Well, we could do we had a kind of like update function from the last game that we were doing, right? Let's go really quickly. Let's save this. Okay, I saved it. And let's look at the code from the last game that we did. So I've made an account here, and it looks like I've been doing some other work, but here, Michael Thompson's Pong game clone. That's not what I want. I want this one, I think. Latest? Yeah, this is pretty close. So here's our animate, right? Window, request, animation frame, canvas, and let's see what's happening here. Maybe is it just, oh, it's the callback function, right? And then do I have a var callback? It's right here, var callback right there, right? And it calls it every, 1000 divided by 60. And we also have this animate step, right? And we also have this step right here. Okay, so looking at what we need this section of our animate, we need this window on load, and we need this step. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Now, I have just kind of like closed one fiddle and opened another fiddle. I need both fiddles open at the same time. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna open up JS fiddle again. And I'm gonna, oh, I don't need to see that, thanks. I'm gonna go back into my fiddles. And this is the one I've currently been working on. Yep, right? If I run this, I get my little, yep, perfect. So I'm gonna take this var animate, and I'm gonna put it right at the beginning, because this is going to allow me to animate things. And then I'm going to take this window on load, and this window.onload is a special function. It runs as soon as everything's loaded, it's going to run that, right? And so we're going to do this. Now we don't actually want to append the canvas, right? Document.body append canvas. We're not going to worry about that. I don't think we need to do that, because we have a canvas into our body and we don't have a canvas up here. you know. So in this code, we were making a canvas, you know, and then getting all of that canvasy stuff up here, but we don't need to create the canvas, right? So, and then we need our step function. Now we're not going to need everything that's inside of that step function. So let's go ahead. Ooh, we decided we didn't need that line. Okay. And we're not going to need all of these either. Let's animate step. Okay, so this is calling itself again when this is ready for it. Okay, that's what that animate step is doing. We don't need the render. We do like the update. So let's go ahead and give ourselves a little update function. So we're going to go var update equals function. Okay, and then right in here in my update function, you know what, let me rearrange some of this code. That canvas stuff we kind of want near the top. So we're going to put it there near the top, and then we're happy with the window load and the step, and here's my update. I want to put my bird. I just want to put my bird. Copy that. Put that into my update function. All right, and then let's just go ahead and get rid of that for now. And let's run this. And hopefully I see a bird. I do not see a bird. I don't see a bird. Do you guys see a bird? I feel like something somewhere has gone broken. Let's inspect it and find out what it is. Oh yeah, we've got an error. Fantastic. We have an unexpected token. Oh, well, that's good to know. I've got an opening curly bracket that we're just not expecting. So let's go ahead and check all of my beautiful opening curly brackets. Here's an opening curly bracket and matches with this opening curly bracket. Here's an opening, closing, opening, hold on, opening and closing, opening and closing. Okay, so far so good. Opening and closing, all of these are good. You know, we could have a or semicolon at the end of that and at the end of that. Let's see if that helps. Run it. Still nothing. Let's see if we've got a that same error or a new error. Still an unexpected curly bracket. Now line 53 doesn't really help us here, right? But we know that we've got something weird about these curly brackets. So let's see. This one is purple, this one is purple, this one is not so purple. Oh, you know what? I've got a spelling error. I mean, come on, right? You probably saw that ages ago. Funk with a C and the T and the I and the O. And let's run it now. Oh, there we go. Guys, we fixed it. Spelling errors. Okay, but that's all right. So that error that we had said, what did it say? It said unexpected curly bracket, right? And then it was because this was spelled wrong. Okay, so far so good. I mean, honestly, I mean, this is great. Everything's going okay. It would be neat if you know, we had something like gravity. Let's give ourselves something like gravity really quickly. Let's come down here after the bird. Yeah, sure. After the bird. We're going to go var. We'll call it gravity. And we're going to set our gravity equal. Let's set it equal to 1 right now. Okay. Now, this isn't... you'll see. You'll see. So what I want to do now is I want to set bird y. Oh. Let's spell things right. Bird y is going to equal bird y minus gravity. All right. So when this happens, the bird y, the current value of bird y, it starts at 75, right? When it draws, it's going to be at 75. And then the next time, that 75 is going to get minused by 1. And that's going to be 74. And this is going to go up. Let's run it. Okay, hold on. What's happening? Doobie-doobie-doo. Okay, nothing seems to be happening. Oh, we've got an error, though. It's okay. Bird y is not defined. Why isn't bird y defined? That's because bird y is down here and not up here. Okay, you know what? Not the end of the world. We just take all of these beautiful variables. Let's take them all. We'll just put them up here, right there. You know what? Let's grab gravity too, because if bird y wasn't defined, then gravity is not going to be defined. Let's put all of our big variables. These are what are like normally called global variables, because we're using that bird y in this function. We're using bird y in this function. Bird y is getting used all over the place, right? This is really, really messy code. But that's okay. It'll work. Let's see if the variables coming before it help. Let's run that. Okay, it's still not doing what I expect it to do, so let's run it. Or let's inspect it. And we still have it. Oh, you know what? This says brid y. It says brid y. I got it right this time. It says bird y right there, and now it says brid y. Okay, so it wasn't that it wasn't defined. It was that I can't spell. So we'll run it again. Hallelujah! Did you see that, guys? Let's run this. Check it out. Check it out. See that? See that? It's going up. Okay, now
text.
It's going up. That's just, it's going up though. Gravity should pull things down. What have I done wrong? What have I done wrong? I'll tell you what we've done wrong. You see, the y value starts, the 0, 0 is right here in the top corner, top left corner, and it gets bigger. This is 75. So if we want it to go down, we actually need to add gravity to it. Or we can create gravity at -1. But I think that we'll add gravity so that that makes a little bit more sense. Let's keep things positive, shall we? So now let's run it, and it's going down. This is great news. I am just super pumped about this. Now, it is kind of just sort of dragging it down, and it's not like happily making a circle down, which is kind of worrisome. But that's because, again, we don't have anything coloring over where the bird used to be. So let's do that, shall we? Just like we've got a draw bird right here, let's backspace some of this stuff. Okay, try and keep all our code cute and close together. We've got a, what do we need? What do we need? We need a background. And look, I've got just this thing. Let's get that. Let's go var background equals function, and let's actually call this draw, and let's go draw background. Okay, function, spell function right, yes. Okay, now the background wants to be, let's make it simple, shall we, a kind of like rectangle. That's the size of the frame, right? So our canvas is 288 by 512, okay? And it starts at 0, 0, okay? And we want to draw a rectangle. Draw a white rectangle. All right, that should be the size of the canvas. All right, let's do that. So we're going to come into here, HTML, right? This is the W3 schools again, and we're going to search for JavaScript rectangle. And even if we want to make a square, we're still going to search for rectangle, okay? Because a square is just a special type of rectangle. Rectangles are the more general thing. And this is how, this is how we create a rectangle that is 150 by 100 pixels. And here is our starting top left corner. Here is our width. Here is our height. And then there's our stroke. So these 3 lines, well, yeah, those 3 lines, let's copy that. You know what I think we're going to have a problem with is, I think we're going to have a problem with, if this is fill, let's fill, right? Let's run this. This is black. This is a black rectangle. So we need a white rectangle, right? So how do we? Oh, look, colors. Hey, that's great news. That's great news, guys. We have colors. So we have a stroke style. I wonder if we could have a fill style. Let's come up in here, and let's see that style right there. It says stroke style. Let's change that stroke style to fill style. All right, now let's run it. Okay, and that totally, oh, but you know what? That's the stroke. Let's do the fill. All right, let's run that. Yes. Okay, so here we go. This is the lines that we need. Okay, we're going to copy that. I don't know that we actually need line width. We don't need line width. That's fine. And also, we don't want it red, and we're gonna need to change these numbers. But you know what? Let's take these 4 lines right there. We'll come right into my GIS fiddle, and we'll paste it right in there. So here we go. We're gonna begin the path. We're gonna fill style. We actually want white, so let's just put white in there. The rectangle's gonna start. It's gonna start at 0 and 0. That's how it's going to be. But what happens, you know what, let's actually give it a different color. Let's go blue so that we can see it, because it's all white right now, right? Let's go 0 0, and then this number, this width, should be the same as this number way up here, right? But what if I come in and I change this number? Ooh, sorry, Z. What if I come in and I change this number, and like then, like if it's 288, right, and I put in 288 right here, and then this is 512, and then I put in 512 right here, this works, right? Let's run this. But well, I mean, I'm not actually drawing the background, am I? I need to go into my update function, and I need to draw the background first. Draw background, and then I need to draw the bird. Okay, that's very important. Let's run that. So, okay. Not a lot's happening here. And that's because, well, it's very blue. I was expecting, you know what I think might have happened? I think, don't worry about this, but I think the bird has also become blue. So let's copy that. Let's put this in here. Let's change this to a red bird. No, let's go black. A nice little black bird. Now let's run it. Okay, yes. So by changing the fill style to blue, we never changed it to anything else, you know, and then like that gets called multiple times. And so let's run that again. And we've got a beautiful little black circle falling to the ground very slowly and then disappearing. And we've gotten rid of all of the previous circles behind it, which is really cool. See, if we don't have that here, right, we run this, we don't have anything sort of painting over where that circle's been before. So we want to run that just like this. And this, I feel like this has been fun, guys. How long have I been going? Yeah, 27 minutes. This has been great. I hope that you've enjoyed this. Tune in tomorrow for even more Flappy Bird fun.